Hey everybody, this is Jimmy Warsham with Shutter 16 here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I hope that you're doing well tonight. Just putting together a quick video. I had a really great opportunity here in Charlotte on Monday night to see some of rock's legends, thrash metal icons and veterans from back in the 80s coming through town, kind of wrapping up their tour as they get near the end. Overkill was in town tonight, and we had a chance at Shutter 16 to get out and see these guys. So it was a real treat. Real treat to get out there and see some of these legends that I grew up listening to way back in the day. Still going at it 35 years later, still going strong, probably strong as ever. Great to see these guys in town. With them, some of our buddies from South Carolina. Nile is supporting Overkill on this tour down from Greenville, South Carolina. So nice for them. They're actually close to home, so a lot of friends and family in town with them to celebrate this event as well. So really cool. Also here on Monday night, something a little bit different on the tour. They actually have had Amorphous and Swallow the Sun join them as they get ready to launch their own headlining tour. Getting a little stage time, getting a little practice in, working that set out on the stage to get some time in front of some crowds to work out all the kinks. So real nice to see those fellas join in. Real treat there too, a little surprise, so it was really nice. Before the show we had a chance to sit down with Blitz for about half an hour, pick his brain a little bit. We ended up trying to talk him into moving to Charlotte so he can get out of that cold northeastern weather. We'll see how that goes. He said he was looking for real estate while he was down there, so who knows. If he does, we got a number of folks already got their Harleys ready to join him and ride. He's already got built-in friends here. Hopefully he can join us. Also had the pleasure of getting to sit down with George Kollias, drummer for Nile, one of the best drummers out there, hands down. Also a really nice guy. Took his time. We'd probably still be sitting there talking if Carl hadn't let us know, look, we got to get practicing here. We'd probably still be sitting there. Just a really engaging guy. Took care of us, looked out for us, spent a lot of time with us, probably more than he even needed to. But thanks to those guys. Thank you, Blitz. Thank you, George. Thanks to the tour managers, Alex for Nile and John for Overkill for getting that set up for us. Really appreciate that. Here at Shutter 16, we definitely appreciate that. I just want to say thanks for all that time. I know you guys are busy, so we really appreciate it. Got a couple interviews with those guys. I'm going to kick it over to the interview. Hope you enjoy those interviews, and we'll see you at the next show. Take care.
A lot of my buddy moved down. He used to live next door to me. We made good friends, and he's just south of Raleigh.
Okay.
A place called Sanford, which is just below Cary. You know
Right.
Cary?
Yep.
And all of them call it the central area of relocated Yankees.
I'm gonna agree with them on that. So you still in Jersey? Is
Yeah.
that where your home is still?
Yeah.
Yes. The property tax down here is way different than what you guys have to do with
What?
the business.
It wouldn't be that. That wouldn't be the way I'd leave. I would leave because it just got too hard to do in
Okay.
Jersey. I mean, we get tense winters sometimes,
Right.
and that would be the reason I would leave. And so I had more. Youth is about mobility and flexibility.
Right.
Not being like trapped in your house for 3 months at a time and watching a fucking ball game.
Shoveling snow, all that fun
I'll
stuff.
shovel sunshine instead.
Well, it was what was it, about 80 degrees here the other day,
Yeah, gorgeous.
Yeah.
Right.
and then it was like 20 something the other night. But still, it's definitely.
I spent the day running around Charlotte looking at real estate with my wife.
Yeah, we've had one snowfall this winter.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
It's gone the next day, probably.
Yeah, it was minor.
Yeah, I love New Jersey. Don't get me wrong, but I just know that someday I'm going to have to face the facts of a broken hip.
Oh God. Well, you'll be in good company down here. So
Yeah.
come on down. We'll.
I heard the pizza's
find a
getting
place
better.
for it.
Everything. We're bringing some things from the north.
Well,
and
yeah,
actually
we
enriching the culture.
don't try to send all the Yankees back. So, okay, you make pizza. Okay, you can stay. You can stay.
If you bring something that's good for the culture, feel free to come on down. We'll keep you.
Metal.
Well,
Definitely metal, for sure. More metal, the better. So how's the tour going so far?
Good, coming down the back end. I mean, they're all short these days. I mean, this is, I think, 26 days, 25 shows, something like that.
Okay.
You know, so that's, I mean, I consider that short. I guess it's all relative. You know, I personally would rather do 20 days.
Okay.
But it's, the front end was awful. We hit a lull here and there. And Atlanta was last night was a little bit less, or a little bit of a lull. One show in Texas was a little bit under what I had anticipated, but everything else has been full. So, not all sold out, but hitting points, meaning that it's full houses and, you know, good deal with the promoters and all that.
Okay. So, with these 25 or the shorter tours like that, how often are you guys out on the road these days?
Well, this year we're gonna have off for April, and what we're gonna do, Dee Dee and I are gonna assemble the DVD.
Oh, cool.
Right. So we're gonna have that, and then off to South America, and then we got some stuff in Russia, over in Europe in June. But these are kind of hit and run things. Everything from a week to 12 days, kind of a thing. So we do a lot of our work overseas between May and August. A new U.S. tour will start in September, which will be 22 days. Really good package. We're just waiting for confirmation from who that band is going to be, but they're good friends of mine. Cut from the same cloth, you might say. So we'll be preaching to the choir out there, the old thrash heads and the energy addicts and the thrash heads. But then there's another European tour that follows that. So we're kind of booked between now and the end of the year. But it's not a solid thing, and I think that's kind of the, you know, what it's morphed into. You know, you're in your 50s. It's you don't go out there and play, you know, 2 months at a pop and then come home and rest. You go out and you play 3 weeks. You want to rest, you want to play 3 weeks, 10 days. So, but we're booked solid till the end of the year.
Okay, cool. With those places, South America, Russia, Europe, any favorite places that you guys like to go?
Well, I'm an American. You know, I mean, I'm always. I've always been proud of our country. I've always been proud of you know, our diversity. The fact that you know, I'm your ugly cousin from New Jersey, and you're mine from North Carolina. You know, I mean, I have a European wife, so I like playing in the Netherlands, where she's from. But that's still based on family, or maybe that pride that I have just as an individual. You know, I mean, I call home and say, you know, the sun's down. Did you take the flag in? I mean, it's kind of the way I live my life. So I love to see the world. I love to experience all different things. But tried and true, I'm red, white, and blue. It's not. I don't have. I like being in the States.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll definitely keep you down here if that's how you feel. So it's nice to hear some folks still have some patriotism.
Well,
still love the country, even with our faults. You know, you've been around the world and seen how other people live, and
it's beautiful democracy. I mean, I love Germany. That's like my second home. We got our start over there, and I love these people. But you know, I'm always, you know, I can never understand how people, when you know they're not getting their own way in the modern era, that they're, you know, I'm getting out of here. You know?
Right.
And I think to myself, I say, what the fuck, you know? I mean, you only can say that because you can afford to. The rest of us can't. And you know, in my opinion, the true measure of a coward is leaving the fight. not hanging around to see it through, regardless of what your opinion is,
right.
Whatever side of the line you're on. So I like being here, and I still fly the flag and salute the vets and the whole thing.
Good.
Hired one. I'm looking at him right now.
Well, then we'll definitely bring some pizza and bring your flag. Come down. We'll find a place for you.
Got a couple Harleys. I got some old Chevys. I'll bring them
on. About Harleys out here about a minute ago, so we all have Harleys too. So you got riding buddies down here if you ever make it back. So no problem. So you guys have been going at this for a while. How has the metal scene changed over the years, in your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, it's morphed. I mean, it's, you know, we started, you know, just from where we sat, we were, you know, getting a record deal in the era of excess, which was the 80s, or the end of the era of excess, was like having a licensed to be an asshole, you know, which was a beautiful thing for a young man, you know, when you had a lot of energy and zero aspirations, but you could figure something out with that energy. And that was, the CDs came in and revolutionized everything, but now in the modern era, in the informational age, it's a whole different thing. So you have to be current with it to kind of reinvent yourself, to keep your finger on the pulse. I'm not a big Facebooker or a Twitter or a twatter, but for sure I'm that cat who understands I need a guy who does it correctly. But I think with regard to people, I think very little has changed. And one of the things that I noticed when I talk to some of the old timers, they're wearing the Field of Fire shirt, it's gray, and their belly's hanging out of the bottom of it because it's 30 years old at this point, that they say, oh, what about the good old days? I'm like, dude, you got to pay attention. I mean, the good old days were great, but there's some great shit happening right now. And I think that's because the youth have injected themselves back into something because they saw the value in it, and gave us all legs and wings, and that's kind of where I see it in 2017, that its popularity is based on its non-disposable value, that a younger generation between 18 and 25 actually took notice of it and said, I got to get some more of this shit because this is the real stuff, and it's probably one of the things I'm most proud of is that we actually had, it was never a second go-round, but there was for sure a second popularity go-round, because there was that area in the middle there for about 15 years where, you had to fight for a record deal. I mean, physically. So, yeah.
Okay.
Good feeling. It's 2017.
Okay. Yes. We shoot a number of bands here locally. Probably, I'm sure you do. But one of them told me one day that he feels like metal's dead in this area. Then I talked to some other guys who say no, it's like the best it's ever been right now. So do you feel like it's the best right now that it's ever been as far as from your shows and your perspective?
In general or in North Carolina?
I would say just in general.
I think that when it first came around, 80s, and we kind of topped out somewhere around 89 through 93 with regard to, that first wave of popularity. That was pretty good. Right. I'm not going to say it wasn't. And now I think it's kind of, the world, because of that instant information, are so up on everything that's going on. If the show's out there, everybody knows because of their social media, right, etc. So I can't say it's necessarily better, but for sure it has the same type of a feel to it with regard to how people's excitement go with it. And that might be me being just a little bit jaded because, back then there was no rules. Right. Now there's rules. I mean, even the youth dress themselves out of my old closet, what I'm saying, with the uniform and the high top sneakers and the tight pants and the patch denim jackets. It's like I told the guys in Warbringer, I said, no need to buy any of that shit. Just come over to my house, take what you want. So I do think that there was an excitement about the early days because it was just untested at that point. But I think in the modern era, there's still some great. I'm not going to say mountains to climb, but for sure some great experiences to be had.
Okay, cool. So this group of guys you got together with you tonight, have they been with you the number of weeks you've been on tour right now?
This is actually the first night for Amorphous and Swallow the Sun.
Okay.
They're going to join us for the back end of this tour, all the way through the out. Amorphous is over here doing a headline tour too. Okay. But they wanted to put it together. This was a booking agent's idea, and we said, hey, great. Obviously known band, kind of a technical death band from Finland. Niall we've had with us on the entire tour, and that's kind of a technical Egyptian type approach to things, and all great players, and it's kind of cool because you're not preaching to the choir all the time. You're preaching to one of the subgenres, and they're getting to play in front of some thrash heads that wouldn't come, and we're getting to play in front of some of the the death fans that wouldn't come, but when you mix it and you take it all down to the core, it's kind of the same DNA. Right. Really, I mean, it's all just kind of metalhead, so I mean, it kind of works.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like it's a pretty interesting mix, with the four groups that you got. It looked like tonight. So, what about these guys from Nile? Some South Carolina boys.
South Carolina guys, yeah.
Okay.
Old polite gentlemen. That's the best I can say about them. They got a great drummer. The guy's off the fucking hook. They're just fantastic. Yeah. But I mean, Carl and the boys have been nice from day one. I mean, they love playing the guitars. I mean, you can hear it all day long.
Yeah.
I was doing sound check in Atlanta yesterday, and it was a balcony, and there was Carl over here to my right, and there was over here, and then over here, and they're just sitting there with their headphones on, watching our sound check.
They're playing,
just
huh?
playing all day. Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So with you guys, you know, again, we were talking outside earlier, being with folks so long, how do you guys keep that without killing each other?
Well, you know, it's a good chemistry. I think we're good people when it comes down to, you know, putting the people before the band. You know, it's you know, the ego's been gone from this band for a long time. I think the idea is that, you know, if the guys are in good spirits, it means because the guys are taking care of the guys.
Right.
You know, you start mixing in the other bullshit. You know, I mean, humanity, when you put it together, can suck or could be great, but it depends how you perceive it. You know, I mean, if you got 5 guys and 5 crew guys that we treat just like the band anyway, this is our team. I mean, I got that veteran. Every time I go on stage, he says to me, "One team, one fight." And I said, if that's where we're going on stage, we probably, you know, have a leg up on a lot of people that have that, you know, where it's an egoless kind of approach to it. And I think that we also perceive this as vacations because we all do other businesses. So, it's, you know, if we're out here for this amount of time, it's like, hey, it's good to be with these guys. Is there going to be a moment here and there? Sure. But the overall general feeling is, you know, hey, I got some Cuban cigars. I get to lose all your money to you with dice tonight, you know, while you're drinking imported German beers. I mean, it's not a bad life, not for a month here and a month there. So.
Now, has it always been that way with the guys in the band, or?
No, I think it's developed into that.
Okay.
You know, and I think that that's because, you know, everybody can't tour 35 years. You know, I mean, guys, I mean, it's just not a normal thing to do for old people.
Right.
You know, and in my case, I balance it with home life and I balance it with other businesses. You know, so I look forward to this. I also manage the band with my partner Dee Dee. So, you know, there's other work that goes into this. So it's when you get to this becomes a payoff for that work. You know what? You know what's the payoff to all the planning you did for a project? It's when the project comes to life and you say, ah, you know, it's. So I think it's how you look at it, and I think we have pretty decent attitudes for people that live in close quarters, and you know, and again, like to have a few drinks and a few laughs when we're out here. It makes it easier. You know, why fuck it up?
I was gonna say it's probably a pretty good deal.
It's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, it's not bad, right?
Depends how you look at it. It's as simple as it is.
Well, that's pretty cool. So you said you do other things. What other types of things do you guys do?
Well, I imported chocolates for 12 years with my lovely wife, and she's we just sold that business last year.
Is she from the Netherlands?
Netherlands, yeah.
Okay.
So we got Dutch and Belgian chocolates.
Delicious.
Fantastic. I mean, we're a great niche market. It's like, you know, it's almost like being a dealer. But I have a mailing company that I'm 50% owner of. So, I mean, that takes a little bit of time. I sell some old cars. Occasionally, I got a Chevelle with your name on it at home. 67, 396.
Once you move down, we'll take a look at it.
So you keep busy. Dee Dee has a studio. Dave has a studio. Derek's not doing anything right now. Eddie was playing drums with us instead of Ron. Also has a studio. So I think that these other businesses kind of keep everything rolling. It's not like sitting around waiting for the next tour. Or we're managing the band, you know,
Right.
Dee Dee and myself. I mean, that's an everyday process. You know, I mean, I think probably you know, Christmas, Easter, and you know, my birthday is the only 3 days I don't do something.
Right.
You know, for the bands.
Okay. So in that case, why do you guys still do this then? What brings you back out on the road all the time?
Well, I mean, you chase the high too. You know, I mean, and this is the drug.
Okay.
You know, the drug was never being behind a microphone in the studio or playing in the studio. I mean, it's great when your vision becomes kind of realized into something that's audible and mixed the correct way. You feel really happy. But you know, instantaneous gratification is the drug, and there still is some degree of success or failure. At least you think that in your head.
Right.
You know, and if I can keep this as the next show is my most important show, then I'll start getting amped up for it in my head, and that adrenaline will start moving around, and that becomes a drug. You know, You know, I remember all the way back in the 80s, I've never reached that high. So I'm still chasing it. You know, so it's not like, you know, for me, it's the right motivation to come out and do these shows. So it doesn't ruin me. It adds to the income. It's part of the business. And it's also something that I love doing. So it's not, you know, it's not tiresome or labored. You know, it's it feels like the right place for me to be.
Okay. Going back to when you first started out, if the music business didn't work out for you, what was Plan B?
Well, I went to college. Okay. I mean, yeah. So I mean, I was really close to a communications degree. Okay. As you can probably tell, I took some public speaking. I just pepper it with profanity. But it's and I took some journalism courses, and I took acting. You know, so I mean, I went to a decent college in the late '70s in New York City, where I actually got to experience, you know, the explosion, or just after the explosion of the New York punk scene. You know, where you know, the Ramones were our band then, not the Worlds, and you know, the New York Dolls existed, and the Heartbreakers, and Dead Boys came to town. And it was Iggy Pop moved in. It was like, I mean, talk about a scene, you know. And I think we've kind of brought some of that with us, you know. So what would we do? Somewhere I would think that with whatever my background was, and the fact that I love doing this kind of stuff, I would probably have worked somewhere in this industry, stealing from somebody.
So seeing that scene that you were growing up in there in New York City, is that what really piqued your interest and got you in that direction to go to music?
Well, not necessarily. I think that was one of the you know, I'm not going to say it was the deciding factor, but the energy was something that always was missing for me. And I think that punk scene was provided that energy. You know, there was always melody in my life since I was a kid. You know, there was you know, parents' Johnny Cash records laying around the house, and Andy Williams, and you know, Frank Sinatra. I mean, you know, New Jersey, the whole thing. You had to have one to be a citizen. So there was always melody, and my mother always sang. So that was never the issue. It was just, you know, where does it go? And I think the punk scene was probably, you know, the final additive. And then you add that to the new wave of British heavy metal, and you kind of have what Overkill's all about. You know, we've always kept that punk energy. It's still evident in the newest record. Goddamn Trouble's kind of punky. Let's All Go to Hades sounds like a pop punk song. You know, I mean, that's kind of where we came from, or at least partly where we came from.
Okay. Kind of moving along, going down the road. You think you ever change that style at all, or?
I don't think so. I mean, we're in this long, you know. You know, one of the things I noticed about this record was it contains various influences from, you know, all parts of our career, or maybe not even our career, but our lives as kids. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a groovy Sabbath-esque vibe in a song or two or a part, or there's that punky vibe, there's that classic metal, there's traditional old classic rock vocal lines in some of the stuff, there's epic doomy feels in other things. And I think that when you start showing those influences, we have been a lot of other places.
Right.
And I think that that's kind of the key, but to show where we've been. But you have to give it a fresh coat of paint. You have to put your own brand on it. And I think that that's what we were good at, especially for this record, was to be able to show that diversity of where we came from, yet at the same time making it Overkill.
Okay. So as you guys are out, do you work on new music as you're out on the road?
Well, this one's new, so not now. I mean, Dee Dee's always collecting riffs. I like to write my stuff when we're touring, so probably coming down the back end of this tour, I like to try to take the energy from, you know, that stage and put it on that demo, and then try to, you know, recreate that in the studio when it's being. So I will do some stuff. I mean, I've done it for the last 4 records, and it's worked for me really well. It's one of the changes I've done later on in my career is write on the road.
Okay. Do you just write the lyrics, or do you write the music as well? How do you guys actually write?
Well, I start with a melody line, and sometimes the melody lines are the beginning of the song. but primarily Dee Dee's the main songwriter. He starts with the riff, the arrangement, even the tempo, but that morphs into something with my input and with Dave Linsky especially, Ron Lipnicki. There's a direction that is agreed upon, but you know, when you have a riff, you have to have a counter melody to it, and I add that counter melody. So I suppose that's the musical end of it, and then the lyrics become, you know, the last thing. I mean, I'll do it with phonetics first, just to see if it works, you know, in demos. And you know, as we've gotten older, and these guys will have, you know, studios, and I have a mini one in my house, we have the luxury of time. You know, and if we were kids, we would fuck it up. If we had too much time on our hands, you'd overthink heavy metal. It's not the way it's supposed to be. But in your 50s, having all that time is kind of cool because you can sit with it, you can come back and redo it. And I think that that's really worked with us. And I think on the last 4 or 5 records, we've kind of caught a wave with regard to, you know, understanding how not to fuck something up by having a little bit of extra time and thinking about the correct presentation.
So how are things with Niall, playing with Niall?
Absolutely perfect right
Yeah?
now. Yeah. This is the 4th week of this tour, and we had the next extra week of rehearsals. So yeah, everything's great.
Cool. How about touring with Overkill?
It's great. It's great. Everybody's so nice with us, and of course, you know, we give them time and space. You know,
Right.
as a headliner, of course.
Right.
So good guys, great band. You know, like a lot of history. You know, so it's very interesting. But we have fun. You know, outside the playing thing. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. So with the guys, how long have you been playing with Niall?
I'm with the band for 13 years now.
13.
Yeah.
Okay. So been around a while.
Yeah, 5 albums. Five
Okay.
albums, yeah.
Where are you from originally?
I still live in Greece. I'm from Greece.
Okay.
Yeah. The whole band is based in South Carolina, but
Right.
I'm from Greece and I still live there. And, yeah, so I travel a lot.
Okay. So how did, being from Greece, how did you hook up with a bunch of guys from South Carolina?
You know, in this genre, there is, you know, as a drummer, either you can do it or not.
Right.
And when they needed a drummer, they saw some videos, and I was able to play all the past songs, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And they thought I'm the right guy. And being with the band for 13 years, I guess it proved like I was the right guy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm a little bit far away, but you know, it doesn't make any difference. I think today with internet and all this stuff, it's very easy to rehearse. You know, I got click tracks of the band without drums, and they get my drum tracks, you know, with the guitars and stuff. So everybody's doing their own homework, you know. And when we get together, it's like we played last night, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say we rehearse and we practice as a band more than other bands who live in the same city. Yeah, we're more ready, 100%.
That's interesting.
If you care.
I mean, that's pretty interesting. So, so how do you do that? Do you guys stream like video of each other when you play?
No.
Do you ever do anything like that?
Just use click tracks.
Okay.
Click tracks, you know, drum tracks, guitar tracks, you know. So it depends on how much homework each one of us do. And we are practicing freaks, you know. We just, you know, we love practicing music and we love to progress and push it to the next level. So yeah, homework is one of the things we do. And it pays off. Actually, there is no other way with this band, you know. It's so technical and so demanding, you know, that you gotta practice your ass off. Otherwise, forget it. Yeah.
Okay. Did you play with some other bands before?
I did play. My official bands were like 3 back home. Not big bands, you know, outside Greece. But I had the chance to work with many well-known bands as a session drummer.
Okay.
And I had a few offers and stuff, but my heart is in Nile. And just, you know, I really enjoy what we do. You know, the musicianship and everything is like up there, you know. So yeah, I'm here and I'm gonna stay here.
Okay. So how did you guys? I guess how did you connect? Did you go to? Did you see them play live before you were in the band at all?
With my previous band, actually, we opened for Nile,
Oh,
but
okay.
I didn't meet the guys back then.
Okay.
And I don't know. There's something with me, and you can ask Overkill, who will say the same. when there's a headliner, I never bother them. You know, I just
Right.
don't like to bother. So I'm invisible. I just go do my job and get the fuck out. You know. So I wanted to meet them. You know, but I didn't. So anyways, yeah, we didn't meet there. I think. Not I think. I'm sure the bass player John Visano back then and Dallas, our ex-guitar player, they saw my band. You know, they saw the support band. We were a support band.
Right.
And they made some good comments about drumming and stuff because it was really a really demanding band as well. But when they actually saw some videos of me playing.
Oh, okay.
That was a big thing with the drum forums back then. You know, so if you wanted to look for a drummer, you go to drum forums, and I already had a big amount of small amount of fans. You know, so
Well, you can say it. You had a big amount.
no, it was a small amount.
Small,
back then.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very grateful, you know, to have the fans I have now. But yeah, back then it was more underground, and my ex band was again very demanding, you know, like extreme death metal, but with some Latin jazz elements, you know. So it was a really the musicianship was like really high up there. So, anyways, they saw some videos. A friend of ours actually recommended me to the band as well. His name is Derek Roddy. He played Black Seeds of Vengeance album as a session musician back then. So they knew each other, and you know, Derek is like one of the best out there, you know. So his word was, you know, really important, you know. So he said, "I know one guy who can play your shit, but you know, he's in Greece." And next thing, I get a couple of days later, I get an email from Carl. And there you go. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was cool. It was
Finally
cool.
got a chance to meet him at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, I met him when I flew to the States.
Okay.
Yeah. So I came ready to work and compose Annihilation of the Wicked. That was my first album in 2004. So it was, it was, I don't know, I was stressed. You know what I mean? I've never been to the States, and finally,
wow.
not only I get to the
That was
States,
your first
but I
trip
get,
to the States at that point too?
yes.
Oh, okay.
And it was about, you know, I was about to play with some of the best musicians in the world, with a band, you know, that everybody was expecting their next album to be the step up, you know. So yeah, I was stressed. But I think we did it.
Yeah, I think you did okay, probably. Have you been down to South Carolina to where they live?
Yeah.
Have you guys played there at all as a band?
I think the last show on the previous tour was in South Carolina, which was really cool, because usually you don't get recognition from the city you are from, you know, you come from, but they went nuts on the last show there, and I was very happy with the guys, for the guys, because you know it's really really important, you know, to play at your hometown and you know see everybody supporting you, you know. I get that when we play in Greece as well right now, because the band has been around for many years, and I've been with the band for also many years. So yeah, finally we get recognition in our hometown. But yeah, this is our home base, or you know the base of the band, and I live there very often as well. So I have to fly there sometimes, you know, stay for a couple months, you know, writing a new album or rehearse. Yeah.
Okay. What was the relation to Egypt and all that with the band when they first started?
It's just a concept.
Okay.
It's a concept. It's a beautiful concept, in my opinion. I mean, you can, you know, it's very different, very unique, in my opinion. Carl was the first to do it, you know, to come up with stuff like this. Egyptian history and mythology is very dark, you know, so it's really easy to write about it, you know, for a death metal band, and you know, like sing songs for them, and you know, the concept is super cool, you know, like the artwork for the albums is also very very easy to, you know, to approach. So yeah, Carl is just he loves reading about this stuff, so that's his baby, that's his concept, you know, and I find it way more interesting than speak about stuff you don't believe, you know. I fucking hate anything with religion, you know. Like I don't want to have any, you know, like bad or good, you know, like relationship, you know. So I like to talk about other stuff, and I think Carl's lyrics cover everybody in the band. You know, we really really embrace this concept.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I know for me, when I was young, I remember seeing like a book that had like King Tut's mask on
Yep.
it. And I always, ever since I saw that, I don't know, 6 or 7 years old, I always had a fascination with Egypt and that sort of thing too. So I wasn't sure if Carl had something like that in the past where he just kind of stuck in his mind at a young age. And
he just reads a lot.
Okay.
You know, he loves reading a lot. To me, it's nothing new because I'm from Greece. You know, we have as much history as you want. You know,
Right.
mythology and everything. You know, so it's quite similar. Not it's darker for sure. You know, all the Egyptian stuff, but I like it. I love it. Yeah, I would like to talk about Greek mythology, for example, because all the Greek bands do. So yeah, I prefer the Egyptian stuff.
okay. All
It's
right.
more unique, you know.
Yeah, I guess it would be for you anyway. Well,
Yeah.
even from here, from a bunch of guys from South Carolina as well.
Well, to be honest, I haven't seen many bands talk about the same concept, you know. So Carl was the first, and then of course, you know, some people, I don't want to say copy his ideas and you know, his lyrics and stuff, but he was definitely the first one, you know, bring this concept, you know, into death metal.
Okay.
Yeah, which is important.
Right. So what do you guys do when you're not playing?
We play,
That's it.
practice
All the time.
Personally, as a drummer, I mean, everybody has maybe a side project. You know, Carl is doing his own music, which is like acoustic Eastern stuff. You know, like really beautiful. I know Brian, our new guitar player, has also a band. They called Atheon. So that's his first band. You know, so now he works with us as well.
Okay.
Brad has some concepts as well, some projects, you know, and I also have a solo project. My solo project is it's something I do for fun. I just released an album actually, but I play all the instruments and I write everything and I sing, you know. So it's like a one-man thing, you know. It's 100% for fun. I don't wanna make a band out of it or something. On the side, on my free time, I do a lot of drum clinics.
Okay.
Drum camps, master classes, you know, workshops, everything drum related, you know. I'm a drum freak, man. I love drums. I love talking about drums and, you know, practice and, you know, just get into the music as much as possible. Play different kinds of music. I find this extremely useful and interesting the past few years, from fusion stuff to rock and, you know. So I do several things, but everything is related to drums.
Okay.
From teaching to session work. I don't do live sessions so much because I don't want to go out with another band, you know,
Right.
for touring, except Niall. But, you know, studio, since I'm there, I go in my studio every day, you know, and I'm like, yeah, you know, I would love to play some different stuff, you know. So, yeah, for me, drum-related stuff all day long.
All day, every day. That
Yep.
Drumming's your life.
Oh yeah, 100%.
100%.
For the past 6 years, I don't know.
So what was your first what was your first drum that you got?
My first drums were a few buckets, and I was 10 years old. Good sound, you know. It was my
Playing
first
on the street with some
approach.
buckets, or in the
Well,
house?
My father got it for me. Like, you know, it was like something related to his work, so I stole some, and you know, I had my first drum kit. Kind of like it looked like Lars Ulrich drum set. You know, back in the days, Lars was, you know, the main influence for 99% of the drummers. This is why I get pissed when I see people today speak bad about him, you know.
Right.
But anyways, it's a different story. And I got my first drum kit when I was 11 and a half, 12. Yeah, so now I'm 39, so that's many years.
Okay. What kind of drums did you have? First kit?
Pearl drums.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Pearl drums. I'm actually officially endorsed by Pearl,
Okay.
and it's very important. All the brands I carry, which is like 12, 13 brands as official endorsements, it's always stuff that I really love and I would buy. So I don't like the classic musician mentality, like, oh, get this for free. Oh yeah, I'll take it. You know. No. I want to play exactly what I would play if I had to pay, which I paid many times to get many drum sets for Pearl. So I think now it counts a little bit more to be officially have an official support from a huge company like Pearl. So
Yeah, I think it's important too that I know a lot of people do endorsements and they don't even really use. They don't even use what they're being endorsed by a lot of
This
times.
is
So
the stupidest thing ever. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, even brands like Pearl, they have to deal with guys like these guys. For me, it's like I say, it's useless to play something you don't want and you don't believe in. So yeah, just you better wait till you get to a level that you will get some attention from the companies you want, instead of play like stuff you don't want to play.
Right.
So, yeah, I just waited and get the stuff I really want.
well, now you got access to anything you want. Is that how it
Yeah.
works now? Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, I mean, most of the endorsements are like a gold level, so you just make a phone call, you get free stuff. But again, I mean, I never get anything more than what I need.
Right.
I mean, even if you ask my companies, they're like, I never bother them. So the last time we talked about, they gave me a drum set for the States. So this is my drum kit now for the States, but I could have it years earlier and I just never asked, So yeah, I just want to do my job, play the stuff I really want to play and represent the companies as a serious endorser, and I'm 100% serious about this stuff.
So you have a kit here, one back at home too?
Yeah, about 2 back home, 3 actually.
Okay.
1 here, and there's 1 in Europe
Okay.
waiting for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's a lot of
That way you don't
stuff,
have to pack it and travel
Yeah.
with it. So.
With 3 kits in my places. Like 1 is a small kit for my more jazzy stuff, my practice. There was a big drum set for my clinics around Greece, or like filming outdoors, for example, for my second DVD. And there's another one which is permanently in my studio. So that's what I need. I mean, if I get another studio, maybe I will ask him for another set. But for now, I'm totally fine.
Okay. So where do you keep it here? With the guys?
In Greenville, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's we got a band room, like practice space. So yeah, every time we're not touring, the kid sits there.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's really easy, every time you fly to the States and you have your own drum set and it's actually brand new with new hardware, everything works, it makes things way easier, than have Pearl, for example, send me a kit every time,
Right.
That was the deal. So we're like, yeah, let's get a drum set. So yeah.
Oh, that's neat. So where do you like to play the most?
Sorry.
That's all right.
I don't know. I don't know.
Do you notice a difference in the crowds?
Oh yeah.
In the U.S.
Big
versus
time.
Europe, or
Big time. I would say my number one, not crowd, because everywhere the crowd is really, really kick-ass. In Europe they have a certain way to approach the bands. In the States it's different, so every place has, amazing crowd. But I would say the craziest one is Mexico.
Yeah.
Mexico City, yeah. I go on stage and they treat me like a god. I'm like, what the fuck, man? I'm the drummer. So, yeah, every time we play Mexico City, I'm blown away. Everybody's like so into it. It's insane. But like I said, everywhere, Europe. Maybe I prefer a little bit more the European tours just because I'm closer to home, and closer to my family, so it kind of makes sense. It's easier for me because now, when we finish, I got like a 16-hour trip back home, all this stuff. But yeah, crowd-wise, everywhere. South America is crazy.
it seems like South America, like you said, Mexico,
Yeah.
South America, they really are.
Yeah.
It's like it never stopped
Yeah.
being big there. So.
And Canada for us as well, because we've been to Canada only once.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah. So we got to Canada 2 years ago, I think 3 years ago. Crazy. I can't wait to go back there. I can't wait. For some stupid reason, we haven't get there, for this album. So, we gotta talk to agency, maybe get like an extra tour or something, like 5-6 cities, in Canada. That would be great.
So why have you guys only been there once?
Some legal problems of one of the members, but now we're fine. back in the days, you know.
Yeah.
So, not me. It's a US Canada thing, I think.
Okay. Gotcha.
They keep like records and stuff. But we made it the last time, and this is why I don't understand why we didn't got there, you know, didn't get there, you know, for this album. But you know, still agency and you know, depending on the time and you know the interest from promoters in Canada, you know, because I know the crowd. Anytime we go there, they're gonna go nuts. So just waiting. For sure, we will go there very soon. And actually, I'm talking about me going there for a clinic tour,
Okay.
a
Cool.
drum clinic tour for September. Yeah, that will happen for sure. So yeah, probably I will go first.
Okay. Where did you play in Canada when you went?
Vancouver, Montreal, Quebec, like pretty much everywhere.
Okay.
You know, all the
So
bands
all the
go.
major cities.
Yeah.
Okay.
Amazing crowd. I was blown away.
Huh.
And what really impressed me the last time we went there, we were in the same time with Behemoth, and still everything was packed and people outside looking for tickets. You know, I was like, wow. So it wasn't like a thing. Oh, we just saw Behemoth. We don't have money for Nile, or vice versa. You know. And we actually met with the guys. You know, we had some drinks in the bus and stuff. We love Behemoth. We're really good friends. But yeah, having these two bands pretty much the same level and style, you know, at the same time is yeah, it's not working in most markets. But in Canada, it was fine. Yeah.
So Behemoth, you guys are really good friends with,
Yeah.
and like, who else did you guys work with
Everybody.
that are
Everybody.
awesome?
2 days ago, we're hanging out with D-side guys and Cannibal Corpse guys. You know, yeah, we know everybody. We pretty much tour with everybody.
Okay.
And there's nothing to, you know, compete about it. You know, it's music. So yeah. Plus, you know, for me, meeting some of the bands that you know I grew up listening to, like D-side, for example. Lots of respect. I love the guys. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, I guess we're running a little.
Yeah,
Are you okay time-wise?
it's okay. It's okay for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Just have to go warm up in a few minutes.
Make sure to be respectful of your time.
No worries. No worries.
So, I know I was talking to Blitz a second
Yeah.
ago. They're done this weekend with the tour. You guys too?
Yeah. This is a Overkill Nile tour.
Okay.
For the next 5 shows, we're very happy to share the stage with Swallow the Sun and Morpheus.
Yeah.
But we started with Overkill. We're gonna finish with Overkill in New Jersey.
Okay.
I guess it's their hometown, so yeah, it's gonna be a crazy show.
Yeah, I'd say that'd be a good one probably.
Yeah, that's it. 4 weeks, 5 weeks if you put the rehearsals too in there. So it's a great tour, but there's no days off.
Right.
I'm playing a very demanding type of music set list, you know, however you call it, for 5 weeks now, every day. There was 1 day off, but it was actually a 37-hour tour bus drive.
Boy, yeah.
So I would prefer to play 3 times the same set than do these 37 hours of driving. But we're kind of like on the autopilot mode right now.
Right.
Just go up there and enjoy, you know, some way. Politics, religion, got me out. Yeah.
Well, this day is kind of hard to stay out of it with the way the world is. So it's you want to be out of it. It's hard to get away from it. That's
Yeah.
all that's out there. So it's
Sure.
music
Well,
is
I have-
a good place to be able to probably forget about some of that stuff and just
I have
play
a lot of
music. You know?
respect for different religion and types of religion, you know, whatever. And whatever each of my fan, you know, believes, it's his or her own thing. You know, I can't really get in between and write the song to convince you what I believe is, you know. So I think it's fucking stupid. Same with politics. It's like, for example, now with you know, it's a big thing with Donald Trump, right? You know, or Obama a few years ago. But you will see many
What's up, man?
well-known actors, or even in metal music, some people will go out there, you know, talk about their opinion about in politics.
Right.
What the fuck, man? What? I mean, you know, you're a musician. Just play your music. Why you talk politics? So, no, for me, I never take any sides. This is why we have the concept we have talk about fantastic stuff and like some stories and present them like a movie, you know. But no messages and bullshit, man. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, some people believe like since they have like a fan base, they're well known, they can go out there and say an opinion about about something they're like way out of it, and I just find it wrong.
Yeah. Well, we'll agree on that. So, no messages here tonight. It'll be a good show.
No, man,
just have a good time and
Exactly.
get away from all that stuff. There's plenty of other places you can get all that if you if you have to have all that. So that's pretty cool.
I want to be able to play any part of the world, and I don't want anything to keep me away from my fans. Either it's like a religion or politics or like anything. So I just want to go there, play my music, and enjoy it with my fans.
Do you guys get a chance to hang out with the fans a lot?
All the time. It's not always easy, but yeah, when we get a chance, yeah, we spend hours with the fans. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Sometimes I know some musicians will be like, yeah, man, I'm too tired about this stuff. I get this every day. I agree. It's not easy to do it every day. Maybe you have a problem in your home, back home,
Right.
and you're like, I'm not in the mood to have a beer with a fan and you laugh and all this stuff. But every time I do, which is pretty much a daily thing, they make me forget everything. Even if I have a problem, they make me forget. So I think it's the most beautiful thing. I think we're super lucky to have people that follow what we do and like what we do. But I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it for me.
Right.
So I dedicate all my life to play music. I spend hours practicing music. Same with the band, But we never think about the fans until we finish. We're like, okay. Then of course, you're like, are they gonna like it, But you gotta play for yourself. I think that's what we do is true. And I want to keep it this way. I don't want to think about the fans like, oh, they like this song, maybe we should write like 5-6 songs. No. Well, we will progress. We will change, maybe, So whoever likes what we do, welcome. Like Metallica, right? I follow Metallica for every album they did.
Right.
Yeah, okay, I prefer Master of Puppets and Load. But man, I mean, I grew up with them, so I get Load. Or Reload, I get the albums, and they got some great songs. So I don't want bands to repeat. I prefer bands to progress. Although bands that repeat themselves, they're not necessarily a bad thing.
Right.
I wish Led Zeppelin was still around and played the same shit, the best. But some bands change, and I like it either way. Yeah.
Okay. What's the hardest part about being on the road?
Staying away from family, for sure.
Yeah.
It sucks. I'm not talking about family like your brother, your sister. I'm talking about your daughter.
Right.
That's where I am right now. So it really, really sucks. But I have no choice, and I'm here for her anyways. And can't wait to get back home. That's all I think. Just want to go home for these. So.
How old is she?
19 months.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
She's little.
She's little, but Dad is touring a
Growing
lot.
fast.
And, yeah, it's a lot of touring, but it's a part of what we do, man. I mean, I had this talk with Carl. Now, Carl has a son. He's I think Kato is 21. I think so. So I was like, dude, how the fuck you managed to be in Germany when they didn't have Euro? So it was easy to get on a payphone and call home. There was no iPhones, Skype, all this stuff. I mean, how you did that? And he was like, man, it was rough. I'm like, man, I bet it was rough. So yeah, we're very lucky. We have technology at least, So no complaints. I miss her, but no complaints.
Any thoughts of bringing her on the road at all as she gets a little older?
Fucking way, no way.
No.
No, I don't want her to go on tour. I don't want her to do what I do. She has a drum kit already. She can play.
Okay.
She can, of course, she
Pearl.
can come to.
Pearl kit?
Of course.
I mean, of course.
always. And Sabian moves and everything
Oh, nice.
that he plays. But I plan to take her on the road with some drum clinics.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, because that's it's me, hotel every day. I drive, so or they get me to different locations. But you know, it's all me. It's a little bit more. It's not like a band thing. You know,
Right.
it's so much noise and the tour bus. So
People-
no band tours.
Okay, that'd be cool to have her, be able to take her to experience that just with you and her.
Yeah.
I like that, and not have all the other
Yeah,
stuff that's going on and things like that. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Well, I travel the world all the time, so it would be very stupid to not have her do the same. You know,
Yeah.
so yeah, one day. She's too young now, thankfully.
Right. What would you like for her if not doing what you're doing? What if she said, I want to
Anything she
be,
wants. I don't care.
what if she said, I want to be a musician? You're good with that? And I want to tour the world all the time.
I don't think I will have a choice to say I don't want
You probably won't have a choice,
Yeah.
but what's your feeling if she did?
You know what? She won't do it.
She won't.
No, there's no way. Because it's a really tough business. It's a really tough world. Sometimes music should be, I make art. But then there's a business thing as well. So when these two things, you know, you're exactly in between, you know, it's just, you know, it doesn't make sense many times. I really like what I do, so, you know, I don't feel like I do something that difficult or wrong or something, you know. But I know it's really, really tough, and it's really tough to succeed as well and be able to play and make a living, or, you know, be able to have like a tour bus, for example. You know, I did some van tours, thankfully not too many. It's tough, man. It's tough. It's dangerous. You know, you're away from home, and so I don't think she will do it. I don't think she will do it. But
You never know. You got that. You already got drum kit in front of her, so she might get the. She might see Lars and go crazy one day and start playing. You never know.
maybe well, when music for me was a hobby, I think I was more into the drums than I am now, because now I can't practice all the time because I have to work with, you know, like recordings and lessons and stuff, so I don't really have a lot of time for me like I used to.
Right.
But back in the day, I wanted to play music for a well-known band. I wanted to, you know, get some success. I was very like I had my feet on the ground though, a lot. Actually, so much that I was surprised thinking about, you know, some of the old days. For example, play with Nile support, and you don't go talk to them out of respect. You know, that was a good move. Like I said, I don't know what the future will bring, but it's a really tough world, and you know, I hope not for her.
Okay. Well, I see Carl's coming in, so I guess you guys probably
It's warm up time.
got to get ready to go.
Yeah.
So I just want
Thanks,
to
man.
thank you, brother.
Yeah.